It might be awful to be wrongfully convicted for a crime that someone else committed, don't you think? Here's how some innocent convicts fought back. This is Curtis Flowers, wrongfully imprisoned for 23 years. He was given the death penalty for a quadruple murder he never committed. He got fired from a furniture store at the age of 26. 2 weeks later, the owner of the store and 3 employees were all found dead. Flowers became an immediate suspect. He was then arrested and charged with all 4 people's murders. After 6 trials, he was found guilty and sentenced to death. The prosecutors sought the death penalty against Flowers in 5 of these 6 trials. He was held on death row for over 20 years. The jury members were the subject of an investigation that began. They found that the trial had excluded African jurors.
Doug Evans began jury selection in Flowers 6 with an unconstitutional end in mind, to seat as few African American jurors as he could.
There had been a racial bias by the prosecutor in jury selection. Flowers is black, and black jurors were excluded from the prosecution. This matter was looked into, and Curtis was granted bail and put on house arrest. He was released and cleared of all charges. Mississippi announced that they would pay $500,000 for his 23 years of wrongful imprisonment.
I don't know. I'm so excited right now.
The person you see here is Eric Kelley, arrested for a robbery and murder he did not commit. He was 28 when he was taken into custody, after a man who worked in a video store was found dead. Kelley had suffered a brain injury resulting in a cognitive disability. He found difficulty in processing information from detectives. He unknowingly confessed to a crime he never committed. Even with the lack of physical evidence, he was convicted and put in prison. He was convicted based on contradictory statements they made to the police. After 24 years, the case was reopened. Advancements in DNA testing proved Kelley's absence at the crime scene. It resembled a man who a witness had seen in the store around the time of the murder. They were the same age and physical description. He was granted a new trial and was released from prison.
Therefore, in light of the foregoing reasons, the motion for a new trial is hereby granted.
Surprisingly, all charges were dismissed against him. He was finally a free and happy man.
Mainly, I want to eat. I'm a little hungry. My legal team, I want to thank them. I want to thank my family. Just want to get back to actually living.
The last one for today, we have Debra Milke, sentenced to death after spending 23 years on death row.
My innocence did not matter in their pursuit of a conviction.
Milke's 4-year-old son was found dead in a desert, shot 3 times. James Lynn, her roommate, and one of her friends were believed to be implicated in this crime. However, no recordings or reports were made. Her detective, Armando Saldet Jr., claimed that she had confessed to the crime.
She then decided that it'd be best for Christopher Milke to die.
She was sentenced to death without any solid evidence. Over 20 years later, the case resurfaced and there were inquiries. The detective who made her confess had a history of lying under oath. Armando Saldet also had a record of violating individuals' rights.
Well, you're not going to talk about this confession thing?
Ma'am, we're going to end it now. I'm going to end this interview right now. Okay? Thank you.
Milke's alleged confession was the only aspect linking her to the crime.
I had absolutely nothing to do with the brutal murder of my son, Christopher, and I did not give a confession to Mr. Saldate.
After 24 years, her conviction was finally overturned by a 3-judge panel of the United States Ninth Circuit Court.
Losing a child to murder is a devastating tragedy. Being falsely accused of a crime you didn't commit is also a devastating tragedy. Try to imagine that. What happened to me could happen to any one of you.
She was released on a $250,000 bond, but no records show her receiving the compensation. And with this, we come to the end of the video. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.